was quick. I've started my ice cream cake. It's delicious.
Spot heard someone giggle in the hall.
Gotcha. You shouldn't giggle. It's not fair. Percy tickled me. Thanks, Percy. Tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Oh. Come out, Helen. I can see you. Isn't this fun? I think I'll stay here for a while. It's so cozy. I found 5. Make that 6. That's a silly place to hide.
No, it isn't. I've got my eyes closed. Nobody can see me.
Only 2 more to find. Aha! Mommy's tail.
Hello, Spot.
Ah! What's that? Gotcha, Claire.
Well done, Spot. You found everyone. Now you can open your presents.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Spot. Happy birthday to you.
I like birthday parties. When can I have another one?
Same day, next year, dear.
Empty.
Juppala följe satan. Dan doen we die hem op. Ja, toch?
Snow. It's been snowing. The dunes are covered with white. There's Little Rabbit. Little Rabbit has never seen this much snow before. She cautiously feels the snow. But snow isn't scary. You can have lots of fun in the snow. Rabbit feels like a bite to eat. But the snow has hidden all the tasty tidbits. Little Rabbit looks and looks and looks, but she can't find anything. Little Rabbit doesn't understand at all. Everything looks so different. Where am I? She wonders. What's that? Is that a tasty apple? Watch out, Little Rabbit. Don't fall. Snow can be very slippery. Got it. Little Rabbit has found an apple. Now she must hurry home. Little Rabbit is going to tell her mother everything.
Right, all together, lift. Hey, why is my head so heavy?
Here comes my Dick Bruner book. Sit with me and have a look. Pages full of 1, 2, 3, and all of it especially made for me, made for me. Miffy, Miffy, we love you. You always know just what to do. 2 long ears and Boston eyes and just my size. Miffy, Miffy, oh so true, we do love you. Miffy goes flying. Miffy was playing in the garden. All at once she heard a loud buzzing in the sky. What could it be? Miffy looked up and saw a bright red airplane. Sitting in the cockpit was Miffy's Uncle Bob. The plane came lower and lower, landed on the lawn. Miffy jumped up and down. "Hello, Uncle Bob," she shouted. "Hello, Miffy," said Uncle Bob. "Would you like to come for a ride? I'll take you up and away past the woods and over the sea." Of course Miffy wanted to go. "I'll come with you," she said. "First ask your mother," said Uncle, "and then we'll be off." Miffy ran quickly to Mrs. Rabbit. you may go, said her mother. But take your warm woolen cap. It is cold in an open airplane. Uncle pulled the joystick and boom, they were off. Miffy held on tightly as the plane rose higher and higher. Far below, Mrs. Rabbit waved goodbye. It was. I'm a bird, cried Miffy. Watch me flying. Now they were over the forest. See that castle, said Uncle Bob. Look how pretty it is, Miffy, hidden among the trees. And look, cried Miffy, is that the sea? 5 white sailing boats were having a race. We must go back now, said Uncle Bob. Miffy sighed. How quickly the time goes. What a lovely trip it's been. Soon they were home with Mrs. Rabbit. They had buttered toast for a snack. I like having a pilot for an uncle, said Miffy. Come again soon.
I can put that. No, and then, oh yeah, my bit. Oh, and then, oh, now I can put my own. Oh, now, there.
What is it?
Dick and Dog in a little yellow truck are Daisy's favourite friends. Driving here and driving there to fetch and fix and mend. Watch them work together, helping out in style. Always at the ready with a spanner and a smile. Get Dick and Dog and Daisy to bring a smile to you. Daisy may be somewhere near, thinking of the plan, wondering how to help them out and lend a friendly hand. Get Dick and Dog and Daisy to bring a smile to you.
Mr. Packet was very excited. Today was the day his new office was arriving. "Ooh, I hope they're careful," he said, and wondered how much longer he'd have to wait. Dig and Doug were carrying it on the back of their truck. At least, they thought they were. Suddenly, Farmer Stubble appeared. "Hello. What's this?" he said. "Perhaps it's a cowshed. Let's have a look inside." "Hello? Anybody at home?" Back at the factory, Mr. Packet was getting very worried. "Ooh, they should be here by now," he said. "I hope it hasn't fallen off or anything." Good thing you tied it on nice and tight, Doug, said Dig. Otherwise, it would have fallen off. It would, Dig, said Doug, except I didn't tie it on nice and tight. You tied it on nice and tight. No, I didn't, Doug, said Dig. You tied it on nice and tight. Uh-oh. Although Mr. Packet's office was still in the lane, something about it was different. Thank goodness it's still here, said Doug. What did you think it would do, go for a walk? Never mind the jokes. Let's get it on the truck before Mr. Packet starts wondering where we are. It's fallen off. I know it has. It's fallen off, smashed to pieces, and I'll never find another one like it again. Poor Mr. Packet. He was more than wondering where they were. He was about to burst into tears. Phew! Seems heavier than before, Doug, said Dig. Give us a hand, Dig. Ready? Catch! Hey, can you hear a funny noise? Farmer Stubble's pigs, I expect, said Doug. Come on, let's get the new office tied on properly this time. My new office. My lovely new office. Poor Mr. Packet. And just when he'd given up all hope. Hello, Mr. Packet. We're here. Mr. Packet was so pleased to see them. Oh, he said, I'm so pleased to see you. I thought something terrible had happened. I thought it hadn't been tied on properly and had fallen off. They both laughed, and just as they were about to tell him what had happened, Mr. Packet was in the crane truck and ready to unload. You hook it on, Dig, and I'll lift it off. Right, said Dig. Ready, Doug? Ready, Dig. Lift away then, Mr. Packet. So he pulled the levers to lift the office from the back of the truck. Oh, hold on, Dig. Right, Doug. That's it, Dig. Dig and the office landed safely on the ground. That's it. It's down now, Mr. Packet. Suddenly, they heard the strange sound again. Sounds like my office is snoring, said Mr. Packet. It does, said Doug. Mind you, said Dig, it has been a long journey, so it must be quite sleepy. That's a comfy cowshed, said Farmer Stubble. My word, look at the time. Must have dozed off. About ready for my snack, I am. Tuesday, donuts. Lovely. Bye, Dig. Bye, Doug. Dig and Doug were very surprised to see him. But before they could say anything, right, he said, I'll park this round the back and see you later. Let's push it into place, said Doug. Right, said Dig. So they did. Ooh. Ooh. You're pushing the wrong way, said Doug. Come round this side. Right, said Dig. Ooh. Ooh. There we are, said Dig. Fits like a glove. Beautiful, said Doug. Hold on. Where's the door? Up there, on the roof. Right, said Doug. Push it on its side, then. Right, said Dig. So they did. "How's that?" said Dig. "Beautiful," said Doug. "Hold on. Where's the window?" "Up there, on the roof." "Right," said Doug. "Push it on its side then." "Right," said Dig. So they did. But it still wasn't quite right. "It's still not quite right, Dig," said Doug. "It's not, Doug," said Dig. So they decided to take a look inside. There's the window, look. There's the roof, on the wall, exactly. So where are we then? And while they tried to work it out, Daisy arrived. "Uncle Doug," she said. "Hello, Daisy," said Dig. "Having a bit of trouble with this office," said Doug. When he explained how it all started, with a little accident in the lane, and how Farmer Stubble had appeared from nowhere, and how dangerous it had been lifting the office onto the ground, and now that they couldn't get it the right way up, Daisy came up with a plan. "When you're ready, Dig, lean on it as hard as you can." "Right," said Dig. "That's it," shouted Daisy. "Now lower it to the ground, Uncle Doug." "Right," said Doug. "That's it," shouted Daisy. "Now bring it forward, Uncle Doug." "Right," he shouted. "That's it." Before long, Mr. Packet's office was almost in place. "A bit more. A little bit more. That's it. Now, drop it down." "That's perfect," said Daisy. "That's perfect," said Mr. Packet, back from parking the truck. "Aren't they clever to have done it so quickly?" "Very," said Daisy. "After you, Mr. Packet," said Doug. "Welcome to your new office," said Dig. "Oh, thank you very much," said Mr. Packet.
Dig and Dog in a little yellow truck are Daisy's favourite friends. Driving here and driving there to fetch and fix and mend. Watch them work together, helping out in style. Always at the ready with a spanner and a smile. Get Dig and Dog and Daisy to bring a smile to you. Daisy may be somewhere near, thinking of a plan, wondering how to help them out and lend a friendly hand. Get Dig and Dog and Daisy to bring a smile to you.
Oh, this is fun. I like this. Yep.
This is the life, buddy.
Your turn.
What?
Oh. Isn't this nice?
Here comes my Dig Bruner book. Sit with me and have a look. Pages full of 1, 2, 3, and all of it especially made for me. Made for me. I've got another story to tell. Yes, I've got another story to tell. Something I will tell to you. And when my story is all through, you will know, yes, you will know, something very, very true. The Christmas Book. On a dark night long ago in a far country, some shepherds were keeping watch over their sheep. Suddenly, a bright light shone on them. It was an angel who told the shepherds that a baby had been born in Bethlehem, a baby called Jesus, who would bring happiness to the world. They would find him in a stable, lying in a manger. The sky was filled with angels praising God. The shepherds and their sheep watched in amazement. The angels vanished, and the night was dark again. Before the sun rose the next morning, the shepherds set out for Bethlehem with their sheep. In Bethlehem, they saw a bright star shining down on a stable. The shepherds stood near the stable. "Can this be the place?" they asked each other. The sheep gathered round them. While their sheep grazed outside, the shepherds went into the stable. There, lying in a manger, was Jesus, with Mary and Joseph nearby. When the shepherds went back to their pastures, they told everyone they met of the wonderful thing that had happened to them. News of the birth of Jesus reached 3 kings in the east. On swift running camels, they set out to find the baby. When they reached the stable, they took out from their saddlebags the gifts they had brought for him. One gave him gold, one gave him frankincense, and one brought him myrrh. Mary took Jesus in her arms and asked the 3 kings what sign had led them to the stable to see her son. The 3 kings told her that in their countries to the east of Bethlehem, they had seen a bright new star in the sky. They had followed it across deserts and through towns and villages until it came to rest over the stable. When they had told their tale, the 3 kings said goodbye to the baby, who was now fast asleep in the manger, and mounted their swift-running camels once more. Mary and Joseph stood at the door of the stable and watched them ride away, back to their homes in the east. All over the world, people tell the story of the bright star which guided the shepherds and the 3 kings to the stable where Jesus was born. And that is the story of Christmas.
It's hot. I've made myself a nice cold drink. Excuse me. Oi, where you going with that? I need this. What for? I've made myself a nice shady house. Oh. Come and see. I will, thank you. I'll bring my drink. You can step inside it if you like and keep cool. Thank you. Have some of my drink. Thank you.
Dig and dug in a little yellow truck are Daisy's favourite friends. Driving here and driving there to fetch and fix and mend. Watch them work together, helping out in style. Always at the ready with a spanner and a smile. Dig and dug and Daisy too, bring a smile to you. Daisy may be somewhere near, thinking of a plan, wondering how to help them out and lend a friendly hand. Dig and dug and Daisy too, bring a smile to you.
The mayor and Daisy were on their way to a special occasion. Is it someone's birthday? Asked Daisy. The mayor said it wasn't. Is somebody getting married? The mayor said it wasn't that either. And just as she was about to tell Daisy what it was, her car started making a funny noise. At the tractor factory, everyone was busy cleaning and polishing. Even Oswald, the robot, had been scrubbed and oiled. Dig and Dug knew it was a special occasion, but they couldn't remember why. It's not someone's birthday, is it? Asked Dig. They all said it wasn't. Is someone getting married? Asked Doug. No, it wasn't that either. Suddenly, Mr. Packet arrived with a very important announcement. Could I have your attention, please? This is a very important announcement. Today is the day when we finish making our 100th tractor, he said. And what's more, Mr. Packet continued, the mayor is coming to help us celebrate. Everyone was delighted, especially Oswald, who hurried off to start painting the 100th tractor. Suddenly, the telephone rang. Ah, that will be for me, most likely. Doug speaking. How can I be of assistance? No, he said, looking very serious. When? Where? Right. We'll be right there. Everyone waited for Doug to tell them what had happened. But all he said was, whatever happens, don't panic. Come on, Dig. We haven't much time. What's it all about, Doug? The mare has broken down, he said. Dig thought for a minute. We've never mended a mare before, he said. Have we got the right tools? Her car's broken down, silly, said Doug. And if we don't fix it and get her to the factory, there'll be no party. Right, said Dig. Let's get a move on. It's the kingpin flanges on the drive shaft. Don't worry, said Daisy. Dig and Uncle Doug will arrive soon and have it fixed in no time. Hello, Mare. We're here. Oh, thank goodness, she said. The kingpin flanges on the drive shaft have gone. Hi, Dig. Hi, Uncle Doug. I knew you wouldn't let us down. And when she had explained how it all began, with them driving along and hearing a funny noise, and how the mare had thought she knew what was wrong, and almost got stuck in the engine, Dig and Dug came up with a plan. "But I'm sure that's what it is," said the mayor. "The kingpin flanges on the drive shaft have gone." "Now don't worry, Mayor. Whatever it is, we'll fix it. Come along, Dig. Let's get started." So they did. "Rocker cover, rocker cover. Gasket, gasket. Thingamaboats, thingamaboats. What'd-you-ma-call-it, what'd-you-ma-call-it. Who'd-you-ma-flip, a who'd-you-ma-flip." Before long, the whole engine was out on the road. "What do you figure it is then, Dug?" said Dig. "Just as I thought, Dig," said Dug. "The kingpin flanges on the drive shaft have gone." "And what are you going to do about that, Mr. Dug?" "Take you there in the truck, Mayor. Hop in. You can sit in the front with me if you like." Daisy and Dig sat in the back and held on tight. On the way, Dug decided to cheer the mayor up with some of the exciting adventures that he and Dig had been on. Like the time when Mrs. Stubble took the tractor for a ride. Or when Farmer Stubble appeared in a pile of turnips. Or the time when Dig and Dug found themselves on top of a building. And how Dug rescued Dig from the cement. How dangerous it was being night watchman. And how sad it was when their trailer got squashed. And the time they got carried away in the factory. And how Oswald the robot had stopped working. The mayor so enjoyed hearing the stories, she forgot all about her broken car. And suddenly found herself at the factory. "Hello, Mr. Packet. We're here." Mr. Packet was delighted, and so was everyone else. "Hello, Mayor." They cheered back. But then Oswald appeared and was very upset about something. "Oh, no," said Mr. Packet suddenly. "Oswald says he's run out of paint." Luckily, Dig, Dug, and Daisy knew just what to do. "You look after the mayor and leave this to us, Mr. Packet. Come along, Oswald." While Dig went to get some paint from the truck, Dug and Daisy took Oswald inside. The 100th tractor was behind the screen. "It won't be long, just giving it a last lick of paint," said Dug, as everyone waited for the big moment. "Any minute now, we're almost there," said Dig. Just when they thought it would never happen. "Everybody ready?" shouted Daisy. It was magnificent. No one had ever seen a spotted tractor before. Or a spotted robot. "I declare this to be the best 100th tractor in the world," said the mayor. "And it's all thanks to Dig, Dug, and Daisy," said Mr. Packet, getting out his camera. "Come along, stand beside the tractor, you three. Smile, please," he said. So they did.
Dig and Dug in a little yellow truck are Daisy's favourite friends. Driving here and driving there to fetch and fix and mend. Watch them work together, helping out in style. Always at the ready with a spanner and a smile. They're Dig
I'm trying to sleep.
Sorry, buddy.
A smile and a laugh, he can light up your day like the sun peeking over the hill. And his eyes give a wink, cause he's ready to play. Come along, it'll be quite a thrill. There's a brand new world to discover. Let's uncover what he's got. Everyone is having lots of fun with a friend named Spot. Yippee-yay, it is park time. That's Spot's favorite place. Spot and Helen and Sally, each has on a happy face.
Spot and Helen were playing cards.
Snap. Oh,
Spot, Helen. It's so nice today. Let's all go to the park.
great, Mom. Come on.
What are you doing, Spot?
Come on, Spot. I was only getting my ball. Whoops.
Spot? Spot!
Wait for us, Spot. Oh, this is fun. Look, Spot. Oh, yes. Come on.
Spot? Helen? Don't chase the pigeons.
We only wanted to play. Where did the ball go?
Is this what you're looking for?
Oh, thank you, sir. Let's have a swing. You can go first.
You like the swing, don't you, Spot?
Oh, yes. So do I. Come on. It's my turn now.
Yes, Spot. It's time to change.
That's enough swinging. Let's go and play in the tubes. Okay. Who are you waving to, Spot? Tom. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Spot. Hello, Helen.
Come on, Tom. Now we can play monkey in the middle. Get your ball, Spot. Come on, Tom. Hurry up, you two.
Ready.
You start in the middle, Tom. Catch, Helen.
You tricked me, Spot. I'll get it next time.
Oh, too high. Oh, dear. How do we get our ball back? The ball's coming back.
Quack.
What a kind duck. Say thank you, Spot.
Quack, quack.
Quack.
Woof, woof.
Oh, empty. Oh, empty. Oh,
The umbrella. It is autumn in the dunes. It's raining very hard. But Leapy Frog doesn't mind the rain. Leapy Frog likes it wet. Prickly Hedgehog hides under the bushes. But where can Little Rabbit be? There she is. She's nice and dry in her burrow. Little Rabbit looks out inquisitively at the rain. This is the first time she's seen rain. What's going on there? A stray leaf floats down onto her head. That's handy. Now Little Rabbit won't get wet. With the leaf on her head, Little Rabbit goes for a stroll. Prickly Hedgehog also wants to shelter under the leaf. But Leapy Frog just laughs at them. The rain is so lovely and wet. Little Rabbit wants to go home. She wants to tell her mother all about the rain. Bye, Prickly Hedgehog. Bye, Leapy Frog. Oh, the leaf flies off again. Run inside quickly, Little Rabbit. Otherwise, you'll get soaking wet.
That's lovely, Pip.
Thank you. There. Finished.
Please read us a story, old bear. We'll all gather round. Dear old bear, sit in your favorite chair. We'll sit all around, dear old bear.
It was almost Christmas, and Old Bear and his friends were having a wonderful time decorating the playroom and the Christmas tree. They had nearly finished. "Just one more decoration for the tree," said Bramwell Brown. "And one more piece of holly," said Old Bear, tucking a sprig behind a picture. "And one more strip for the paper chain," said Rabbit, licking his last piece of paper and managing to stick it to both his paws, and then to his tummy, and finally in its proper place to join up the rest of the chain. Said Duck, who everyone had forgotten was still holding the other end of the paper chain in his beak. "You'd better drop it, Duck," said Bramwell as he helped Rabbit and Sailor to hoist the chain to the ceiling like a flag. Duck unstuck his beak and dropped the chain just as his feet were about to leave the ground. "There," said Rabbit. "We've done it. That's the last decoration." "It can't be," said Little Bear, looking through the box for another decoration, but finding only crumpled tissue paper. "I don't feel Christmassy enough yet." "Well, we've done all the things for ourselves," said Bramwell. "Perhaps we ought to do something for each other. That always feels very Christmassy." "Good idea," said Old Bear. "I'll make us all a very special Christmas cake." And he set off towards the kitchen to get started. "I know," said Rabbit, hopping around the wooden train. "I could give everyone special rides to see the lights. Why don't you help me decorate the carriages, Duck? You could be the conductor." Little Bear scratched his head. "Will you help me find a job, Bramwell?" he asked, looking around the playroom for something helpful to do. And it was then that they both noticed the doll's house. Standing in a dark corner of the playroom, it had been completely forgotten. "I think I have an idea," said Bramwell. "Come on, Little Bear, we've got some work to do. First of all, we'd better see if we can find the sewing box." At last, after they had searched in all the usual places, Little Bear found it, almost covered by a cushion on the sofa. "I thought it would be a wonderful surprise for the dolls if we decorated their house for them," explained Bramwell Brown as he rummaged through the buttons and beads until he found what he was looking for. Tiny, colored glass beads and sequins, a needle, and some thread. "We can make Christmas lights with these for the doll's house," he said. "Oh, yes. We'll need a Christmas tree, too. And I think I've seen just the thing," squeaked Little Bear, beginning to feel Christmassy at last. He slipped down from the sofa and rushed off. Leaving Bramwell threading the tiny beads carefully onto a piece of green thread. In no time at all, Little Bear was back, almost hidden by a bushy little tree. "It must have fallen off the big Christmas tree," he explained in a voice that was rather full of branch. He put it down next to Bramwell and dashed off again to find a pot. When he returned, Bramwell helped him plant the tiny tree. Together they packed the soil tightly round its stem to stop it wobbling, and then, very carefully, they wound the Christmas lights round and round the tiny branches. It looked exactly like a real Christmas tree. Little Bear was so delighted he wanted to carry it straight round to the doll's house. "Not yet," said Bramwell, who had thought of a few more ideas while he had been threading the beads. "See if you can find some of the other toys while I look for some paper and some scissors." Little Bear didn't get very far before he bumped into Rabbit. "Woo-woo! Make way for the Christmas Express!" called Rabbit, looking magnificent in a red fur-trimmed jacket. He was bounding ahead of the wooden train, which was being pulled along by Duck. Duck was wearing a matching fur-trimmed hat and had Little Bear's satchel on to show that he was the conductor. "It looks lovely," said Bramwell. Rabbit and Duck had stuck holly and ribbons on all the railway cars, and it looked very festive indeed. "Well, jump aboard, Bramwell," said Rabbit. "You two can be our first passengers." "Wait a minute, Rabbit," said Little Bear. "Bramwell's had a plan." He showed Rabbit and Duck the little tree. "We're going to decorate the doll's house, and we want it to be a surprise. If you can take the dolls out for an extra long ride, we could have everything ready by the time you come back." "That's a brilliant idea," said Rabbit. "Come on, Duck. First stop the doll's house." The train pulled up outside the little house, and Rabbit knocked on the door. "Hello, dolls. We've come to take you all on a special Christmas outing." The dolls were delighted when they saw the train, and Rabbit and Duck soon had them sitting snugly in the railway cars. Rabbit tucked them in with little knitted squares of blanket. Then Duck pulled the train slowly forward, and the little procession set off in the direction of the Christmas tree. Meanwhile, Little Bear had found plenty of willing helpers, and as soon as the dolls were out of sight, they all set to work. They hadn't been able to find any holly small enough for the doll's house, so Little Bear had cut some holly leaf shapes out of green paper. Sailor had cut up some very thin strips of wrapping paper, and some of the toys were making doll's house-sized paper chains. Bramwell Brown had found all sorts of odds and ends and was making a Christmas wreath for the front door. They worked very quickly indeed, and when they had finished, everyone helped to carry the decorations over to the doll's house. Little Bear and Sailor were the smallest, so they went inside. They hung the paper chains so that they crisscrossed from one corner of the room to the other. Little Bear decorated the mirrors and the pictures with holly. And finally, they placed the Christmas tree in the corner of the room. Then Sailor and Little Bear came out and closed the front door. "It looks wonderful," said Bramwell. For the finishing touch, Bramwell stuck his Christmas wreath on the door. "Hello, everyone," said Old Bear. "I was wondering where you'd all got to. I decided I would make a cake for the dolls as well." In his paws was a tiny cake covered in white icing with a red bow tied around it. "Would you mind giving it to them, Little Bear? I'm afraid I'm too big to get through the front door." "I think you should give it to them yourself," said Little Bear. "Here they are now." Duck pulled the train to a halt just outside the doll's house. "Back just in time for tea, by the look of it," said Rabbit. "Come on, dolls, this way," said Bramwell Brown, helping them out of the train. The dolls could hardly believe their eyes as they stepped into their house. "It looks beautiful, just like a real home at Christmas," said one of the dolls. Another one rushed off and returned with all the doll-sized socks she could find. "We'll have to have bare feet until Christmas Day," she laughed. "But we don't mind. There are enough socks here for everyone." And she hung them in a row along the mantelpiece. "You've all been very kind," she smiled. "And you've given us the best Christmas present we've ever had." The toys waved goodbye to the dolls, and the little train moved off again, this time in the direction of the sofa. "I'm feeling very Christmassy now," yawned Little Bear. "I think we all deserve a piece of my Christmas cake before we go to bed," said Old Bear. And no one disagreed with that.
He can light up your day like the sun peeking over the hill. And his eyes give a wink 'cause he's ready to play. Come along, it'll be quite a thrill. There's a brand new world to discover. Let's uncover what he's got. Everyone is having lots of fun with a friend named Spot. Spot's friend Steve has a question. May Spot stay overnight? First Spot must ask his mother. Please, Mom, please. Well, all right.
Spot's mom was calling him.
Spot? Spot? Oh, there you are.
Spot was talking to Steve over the fence.
Mom, may I stay overnight at Steve's?
Please.
Yes, of course.
Thanks, Mom. I'll get some things.
Spot? What are you taking with you?
Oh, not much.
Let's go, Spot.
I hope I didn't forget anything.
It's a good thing I live next door.
You've got a new slide. Come on.
Go on, Spot.
Oh. Almost there. Woof! Whee!
Watch out for the flowers, Spot. Too late. Too late, too late, too late.
Come on, Steve.
Whee!
This is fun. Woof, woof. Whee! Woof, woof. Steve! Where are you, Steve? Steve? He's behind the tree. Oh. That's funny.
Yo-ho, Spot.
I can't climb up there.
Swing on the tire.
Woof, woof.
Here comes your mom, Spot.
Hi, Mom.
You forgot this.
Thanks, Mom.
Time for bed, boys.
What was in the bag, Spot?
Oh, nothing. Good night, Steve.
Ah, good night, Spot.
Woof, woof.
I'm trying to sleep.
Sorry, buddy. Me? What are you watching? David? Anybody watch me, man? What are you watching? What is he? You make a mess, huh? What's that new one? What is it? Hey, where's mine? Where's him? Where's him? Oh, up. No, it's a man. All right.
Thunder. It's a hot day in the dunes. So hot that no one feels like playing. Only Little Rabbit. Little Rabbit always wants to play. Well, time for a rest. What a bright blue sky. There isn't a cloud in sight, and it's so quiet. All the animals are completely silent. Even the wind is holding its breath. Little Rabbit suddenly thinks it's scary. It looks as if something is about to happen. The sky darkens, and the wind starts blowing again. Little Rabbit has to hide. Little Rabbit walks helplessly round in circles. Thunder and lightning startles Little Rabbit. She quickly looks for a place to hide. A burrow. Ouch! Prickly Hedgehog is also hiding in the burrow. Fortunately, there's room for two. Little Rabbit has never seen lightning before, but there are two of them. That makes it seem a lot less scary. Together, they wait for it to pass. Thank goodness. The thunder and lightning have stopped. Now Little Rabbit and Prickly Hedgehog can play outside. And outside, everything smells fresh.
Please read us a story, Old Bear. We'll all gather round. Dear Old Bear, sit in your favorite chair. We'll sit all around, dear Old Bear.
Old Bear had been busy all morning. He was packing an enormous picnic for all the toys. There were sandwiches, cakes, donuts, pies, and jam. I think I've put in a bit too much food, he said to himself as he sat on the picnic basket lid to try to make it close. Suddenly, in a blur of fur and red pants, Little Bear dashed past the basket and dived into a heap of books. "Do you think anyone will find me?" he asked from the middle of the heap. "I don't think so," said Old Bear. "Who's looking for you?" But before Little Bear could answer, the door flew open, and into the room ran Bramwell Brown, Duck, and Rabbit. They didn't seem to be looking for Little Bear, and in a moment they were hiding too. Rabbit and Duck were behind the curtains, and Bramwell's feet could just be seen sticking out from under a cushion. "We're playing hide and seek," explained the cushion in a Bramwell Brown sort of voice. "Did anyone see us hide?" "Only me," said Old Bear. "But who's looking for you?" There was a bit of a silence, and then the cushion moved. Bramwell looked sadly at Old Bear. "Oh, dear," he said miserably. "We've done it again. We've forgotten to have a seeker in our game of hide and seek." The others crept out of their hiding places. "What a pity," said Duck. "It could have been a good game, too." Old Bear, said Little Bear thoughtfully, if we all hide again, could you look for us? Old Bear said that was a good idea, and with his paws over his eyes, he slowly counted to 10. 1, 2, 3, he began, as Rabbit jumped into a vase and tried to look like a bunch of flowers. 4, 5, 6, he continued, as Duck jumped into a shoebox. 7, 8, 9, he said, giving Bramwell time to hide a last bit of paw. 10, he called. I'm ready! By then, Little Bear had also disappeared. Old Bear looked all around the room. It wasn't very tidy. First, he found a sock that he'd lost weeks ago, and then he found at least 10 marbles that had rolled underneath things. He even found Cat, who wasn't really lost or hiding. But he couldn't find the others. Oh, it's no good, he sighed. I can't find any of you. I can only find things I'm not looking for. Can we tidy up a bit and then start again? One by one, the other toys wriggled out of their secret hiding places. All of them, that is, except Little Bear. Where's Little Bear? Asked Bramwell Brown, but nobody seemed to know. Well, he can't be far away, said Old Bear. I'll give him a call. He climbed up onto the chair and called, Little Bear! So loudly that he made himself jump and almost fell off. Duck poked at all the cushions with his beak to see whether Little Bear was underneath, and Bramwell peered under the bed. He could be under here, he said. Well, I'm not going to look, said Duck. It's dark and dusty. Oh, I'll go, said Rabbit. It'll be just like a tunnel, and I love tunnels. He was just about to dive under the bed when Bramwell grabbed him by the tail. Wait a minute, Rabbit, he said. I'll give you the end of this string, and then you won't get lost, because we'll all be on the other end. With the string tied around his middle, Rabbit bounded into the darkness. The others waited and watched. Suddenly, the string gave such a jerk that Duck fell on his beak. He's here, squeaked Rabbit. I'm holding on to him. Can you pull us out? All together, they pulled hard on the string, and out popped Rabbit, tail first, clutching not Little Bear, but a fluffy slipper. Oh, said Duck, looking down at the slipper. I don't think that's Little Bear. Of course it's not, said Bramwell. He doesn't look like that. It felt like Little Bear, said Rabbit. It's not your fault, Rabbit, said Old Bear kindly. You were very brave to go in there on your own, and I'm sure Little Bear will turn up soon. I bet he won't, said Duck, still gazing at the slipper. He's probably wandered off and is miles away by now. Nonsense, said Bramwell. I bet he just got stuck in something. We must keep looking. I think we should make a poster saying this bear is lost with a picture of Little Bear on it, said Old Bear. Then all the toys will know who we're looking for. The animals all brought the painting things, and Bramwell sat and painted a picture of a small bear in red pants that did look quite a bit like Little Bear. There wasn't really enough room to write, "This bear is lost," so they just made him look a bit sad and hoped that everyone would know what it meant. Just to make sure, Bramwell called all the other toys together and explained what had happened. They all wanted to help, and within minutes, everyone was searching. They rolled up rugs and climbed up curtains. They jumped into drawers and turned out toys. They peered behind plants and poked through piles. They felt as if they'd searched through the whole house, but still there was no sign of Little Bear. Whew, I'm tired, said Bramwell Brown. And I'm hungry, said Duck. Well, said Old Bear, everyone has worked very hard, and I think we all deserve our picnic. When we've eaten, we'll start looking again. He led the way to the picnic basket that he'd packed in the morning and lifted the lid. There, he said proudly. What do you think of that? The animals all peered inside, but what they saw was not what they had expected to see. There, lying tucked up under a tea towel, fast asleep and looking very full, was Little Bear. Well, well, gasped Bramwell Brown. We seem to have found a bear and lost a picnic, said Duck, staring at the crumbs that covered Little Bear. It's a good thing I made too much, then, said Old Bear. There's still plenty left for us. Bramwell Brown lifted Little Bear out of the basket and gave him a big hug. Come on, everyone, he called. Picnic time. Carefully, they dragged the basket bumpity-bump down the stairs and out into the garden. There they had a wonderful feast, finishing every last crumb in the basket. Then they stretched out in the sun to rest. I know, said Little Bear, suddenly leaping to his feet. Let's have another game of hide-and-seek. But there was no reply. Leaning against the tree and full of food, all the other toys were fast asleep.
Right, all together, lift. Hey, why is my end so heavy?
This is such hard work.
Oh, hello there. I was just checking on the ships here in the big harbor. You know, we get many, many visitors here, from little fishing boats to giant super tankers. And you know what? I bet I have sailed on every kind of ship there is. Oh, yeah, I've been around ships most of my life. I remember the first time I got my first job aboard a ship. That was really something. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. Oh, God. Long hours and hard work, not to mention trying to stay standing with the waves rolling this way and that way. Oh, but I did. And you know what? Before I knew it, I had spent many happy years at sea. I remember when Theodore got his first job here in the big harbor. It was when he pulled his first ship. You know, he didn't think he was going to be able to do it either.
It seemed like Theodore and Hank were always thinking about the day when they'd be able to go to the wide open ocean, beyond the harbor. That's when they'd have their own wonderful V words in bright golden letters, just like Emily the Vigorous, or George the Valiant, or Foduck the Vigilant. And of course, they were also thinking about what their V words might be. Theodore liked valuable, or even very valuable. Hank preferred volcano. Theodore knew it could be a while before either of them had learned enough to be given their own V words. After all, the most important step before being awarded a V was knowing how to pull a ship. Theodore had pulled barges before, and they'd both done practice pulls with Emily, but neither of them had ever pulled any real ships by themselves. It was time for the morning meeting, but none of the other tugs were there. The dispatcher seemed worried. He looked at Hank, then at Theodore, and then back around at the busy harbor. "Let's see," he said. "Emily's still out on the ocean. She's supposed to be back very soon. George is towing Tex, the oil rig, down the coast. Oh, he won't be back for a few days. And Foduk's busy moving ships anchored in the middle of the harbor. Well," he sighed, "that means we have a big problem. We have a cargo ship arriving soon, tugboats," he said. "Her name is Julia, and there just happens to be room for her today at her favorite dock. But with all the V-tugs away," continued the dispatcher, "there's no one to pull her in." "Theodore," whispered Hank. The dispatcher kept looking around as if he hoped Emily would magically appear. "Well," he said, not very happy, "I guess that means tomorrow. I guess tomorrow will be a very busy day, tugboats. That's all for now." Hank whispered again to Theodore. "Theodore, this is our big chance. You and I could bring in that cargo ship." Hank was so excited he was finding it hard to keep his voice down. "Hank," said Theodore, "I'm not a puller. Not yet, anyway." "Well, you want to be one, don't you, Theodore?" replied Hank. "Yes, but," said Theodore. But Hank was still talking. "And the dispatcher said just the other day that you were doing a great job pulling barges. I'm sure he'll let you try it. Come on, Theodore. Ask him. Ask him." "What's all this about?" said the dispatcher suddenly. "Theodore can pull," said Hank. "He's been practicing a lot." The dispatcher turned to Theodore. "Theodore, do you think you're ready to pull?" "Oh, my," thought Theodore. "What's Hank started this time?" So, almost before he knew what had happened, there was Theodore, sailing out to the mouth of the harbor with Hank. Sure enough, they were on their way to meet Julia, the cargo ship. "How does it feel to be the tug in charge?" asked Hank. Theodore still wasn't sure if he knew what to feel. Not very sure at all. "We better think, Theodore," Hank continued. "After this, you'll get your V word for sure. How about voyageur, off to all the seas in the whole wide world? And I'll be Hank the Volcano. Roar," said Hank. But all Theodore could think about was being the tug in charge. Hank was sure there wouldn't be any problems. "You won't be alone, Theodore," he called. "I'll be helping you." Well, for some reason, this made Theodore feel even less sure about the whole thing. "Hank, you forgot to tuck in your anchor again," he said. "That's what Emily and Foduk are always saying," said Hank. "See, Theodore, you're already a great tug in charge." Well, Theodore couldn't help smiling at his friend. Hank just wouldn't give up, would he? "Well," said Theodore, "I guess I should at least try. Maybe it'll be okay. I hope." So off they went again. And again they started thinking of V words. Volcano, voyager. They knew that this would turn out to be quite a day. The day that Theodore Tugboat would pull his first ship. Soon Theodore and Hank had arrived at the mouth of the harbor, close to the mighty ocean. Julia, the cargo ship, was just arriving. She looked very big. Very, very big. She also looked unfriendly. All of a sudden, Theodore's doubts returned. The huge ship just stared down at him. "Hello," said Theodore. How do you do?" Julia didn't answer. Theodore tried again. "My name is Theodore, and this is my good friend Hank. We're here to take you to your favorite dock." Theodore couldn't think of anything else to say, so he just waited. Finally, Julia said, "Fine. Pushers go to the back." Hank and Theodore looked at each other. and then at Julia again. Oh, thank you, Julia, said Theodore, who always tried to be very polite. But I'm your puller today. Well, Julia was not impressed. She thought Theodore was just a little tug. I've pulled before, said Theodore, trying to make Julia feel better. And what have you pulled before? Asked Julia. Barges, mostly, replied Theodore. Now, Julia wasn't sure that Theodore could be a puller, but she knew it was important to get the fresh vegetables she was carrying unloaded. And after all, it was her favorite dock that was open today. She looked way down again at the two tugboats. Well, I suppose I'll have to at least let you two try. Hooray! Shouted Hank. But I hope you won't make any mistakes, or I'll have to complain. Oh, yes, I understand, said Theodore bravely. But inside, he knew that if Julia complained, it was sure to hurt his chances of being given his V word and being able to go out on the ocean. Let's get to work, Theodore, called Hank. I'm waiting, said Julia. Theodore started off back into the big harbor. He found he really did like how you could see everything when you were up in front. And he felt very important, leading such a big cargo ship into the big harbor. He even gave a little toot-toot to Hank, just like the tug in charge does to signal, all clear, carry on. Just then, Pearl the pilot boat arrived.
Juppele fulje satana. Wat ik zeg, dan doen we die op. Ja, toch?
Here comes my Dick Bruna book. Sit with me and have a look. Pages full of 1, 2, 3, and all of it especially made for me, made for me. I've got another story. back is that? A farmer's. Whose back is that? A clown's. Whose back is that? A nurse's. Whose moo is that? A cow's. Whose ba is that? A sheep's. Whose bunk is that? A pig's. Whose quack is that? A duck's. Whose cock-a-doodle-doo is that? A rooster's. Whose cluck 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 is that? A hen's. Whose beep 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 is that? The chick's. What's changed in this cabinet? How many pencils do you see here? And how many here? Which can run faster? The pig or the tiger? The sheep or the rabbit? The hedgehog or the snail? Which of these chairs are broken? This one? This one? This one? Or this one? What has changed on this fire engine? Can you see the difference? How many trees are in this grove? How many in this one? Can you find the bird in this tree? You're very smart. Whose back is this? Yours.
What are you showing it? Yes, stop it. So, mate. Cadê o meu zico? Guarde. Hã? Olha. Hã?
Hey, somebody here? Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you. Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over.
Simon had been drawing again. The moon rocket he designed himself was bringing him back from the moon with his friend Henry, and all the noughts that Simon had taken from the sons who tried to capture him. Simon and Henry felt very proud when they were welcomed back to the land of chalk drawings. Simon unloaded all the noughts and presented them to the chalk drawing people. Everyone was pleased, of course, because a present is a present. But they were a bit puzzled because they weren't quite sure what to do with them. The girls tried them on as bracelets. Some of them played hoopla. The dog became an acrobat. The boys bowled them along as hoops, and some tried to stand on them. Some played catch. He lost it, and the bird found it. Well, while all this was going on, the sun was watching sadly. Dear, oh dear, I'm so lonely up here, no one ever bothers to come and talk to me. Simon saw the sun looking sad, and he had an idea. He and Henry collected up some of the noughts and put them back in the rocket. Up they flew again off into space, and Simon steered towards the sun. Don't worry, son. These noughts that I captured on the moon are going to help to stop you being lonely. The sun was very puzzled. What is that fellow Simon doing? All these noughts round me just clutter up the place. Now Simon called all the birds in the land of chalk drawings and spoke to them. The sun is very lonely. He would just love someone to talk to. I want you all to fly up there and keep him company. Well, the birds shook their heads. Well, we'd love to, Simon, but when we get up there, there's nowhere to perch. Well, Simon chuckled. Don't you worry about perches. You fly up to the sun and you won't have any trouble. The birds set off. Up they flew until they reached the sun. And when they saw the noughts, they knew what Simon meant. And when the sun saw the birds perched round him, he smiled more brightly than he'd done for years. That fellow Simon's not so silly after all. Now, tell me, how's your father keeping? And the sun and the birds talked, and talked. Meanwhile, back in the land of chalk drawings, Simon said goodbye to Henry and left on the train. He passed the rocket and looked at it, pleased and proud. His friend next door had said his rocket would never fly, but Simon had been to the sun and the moon and back. And only really good rockets go that far.
Oh, dearly. Oh. 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 Ah. Oh, right. Uh-oh.
Oh, buddy. Blow your balloon really big.
Okay, Pip.
That's it. Keep going. Well done.
Oh.
Any time now. Come on. Tea time.
Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you. Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over.
When Simon came back from the seaside, he realized the children in the land of chalk drawings had never seen the sea. So Simon drew the sea on his blackboard. He drew lots of other things too. Next day he met his friend Henry, and they went to the land of chalk drawings. Simon led Henry to the seaside. And there was the boat Simon had drawn. They decided to go for a row. Suddenly, Henry noticed something. Simon, look, shark fins all round us. Well, Henry rowed hard, but they weren't looking where they were going. And they crashed right into a desert island. They were stranded. As they sat under the coconut tree, there was a bang, and a cannonball just missed their heads. It hit the tree trunk so hard that all the coconuts fell and buried them. Helpless, they watched the pirate ship approaching. Captain Cutlass was delighted. Ha ha ha! 2 more slaves to help to row our ship. Take 'em below, me hearties. Simon and Henry were led to the galley. It was filled with children who'd been captured playing in the sea. And now everyone was made to row. As he rowed, Simon had an idea. When no one was looking, he rubbed out all the blades on the oars so they couldn't reach the water. Well, naturally, the ship stopped moving. Captain Cutlass was furious. Shiver me timbers! All me oars have shrunk. I'm up the creek without a paddle. Right, you'll all walk the plank for this. Well, one by one, Simon and his friends walked the plank. Right at the end, Simon remembered his piece of chalk. Quickly, he drew the plank longer and longer and longer. All his friends hurried to the shore where the chalk drawing people were gathered. The angry pirates began to follow, but Simon whispered to the elephant, and the elephant walked back towards the ship. Simon gave the pirates a warning. If you don't leave, the elephant will jump in your ship and sink it. And look what's waiting in the water if you do sink. Captain Cutlass looked. Shiver me timbers! Sharks! Heave to, me hearties. We're not staying here. As the pirates left, Henry turned to Simon. Well, you certainly drove them off, Simon. But it would have been awful if they had sunk and been eaten by those sharks you drew. Simon smiled mysteriously. He reached out and grabbed a fin as it passed. When he lifted it out, what do you think was there? Nothing. See, Henry, there are no sharks, just fins. I only drew the fins. Henry and the chalk drawing people laughed and clapped at the way Simon had tricked the pirates.
And have a look, pages full of 1, 2, 3, and all of it especially made for me, made for me. I've got another story to tell. Yes, I've got another story to tell. Something I will tell to you, and when my story is all through, you will know, yes, you will know something very, very true.
The Sport Book. Football. Hockey. Tennis. Cycling. Running. swimming. Steeplechase. Judo. Ice skating. Skiing. Gymnastics. And showering.
almost. I just have to finish tying this end of the skipping rope to the fence.
Good.
All right.
Let me test it.
Yeah.
Okay. There.
Wow, it worked!
Yeah, no problemo.
Well, get ready for a little bit of skipping greatness.
Okay.
Hey. Okay, I'll just get ready here.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
I'm all set.
Yeah. Well, you sure are great at getting ready.
Yeah, thanks.
But, my wings are getting tired, Iggy.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right, here we go. Onesie, twosie, throw your shoesie, threesie, foursy, lock the doorsy, fivesy, sixy, pick up sticksy.
Iggy, I think you better start again, Egg.
Oh, well, that's too bad. I was really going there for a minute.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
try it again.
Okay, try again. Here we go. Yep. There.
Great. All right, here I go.
Wow. Oh, that's it, Egg.
Look at me.
You got it.
Hi, Jacob. What are you doing?
Oh, hi, Mitzi. Hey, look at you.
Do you like it? I'm a clown.
Whoa, look, Iggy. Mitzi's wearing a clown costume. Oh.
Great. Maybe you guys could help me out of the skipping rope I'm wearing. Oh, boy.
Are you going to a party, Mitz?
No, not a party. Better, a parade.
Whoa, I love a parade.
It's for Canada Day, and I'm going to be one of the clowns in the parade.
Ooh, you're lucky, Mitz.
Well, you can be in the parade, too.
We can?
Sure. The parade is open to everybody.
Wow, great. Well, what can we do?
Oh, I know. I could lead the elephants.
Great. Oh, but you have to bring your own elephant.
Oh.
I could drive the fire truck.
Yeah, the fire truck, yeah. Oh, do you know how to drive?
Well, no.
Oh, gee. That doesn't leave anything for us to do.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, I have to go now. I have to find a marching band for the parade. Bye!
Hey, wait. That's it.
What's it?
Well, the marching band.
Huh?
We'll be the marching band.
You will?
Sure, I love marching bands. We can play music.
Yeah, and I can carry my big drum.
Yeah, I'll use my guitar. We can ask Gloria and Holly.
Oh, goody! Oh, that's great! I'll tell the people running the parade that I found the band.
Yeah. Bye, Mitz.
Thanks, Mitz. Well, come on, Jake. Let's go tell everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Go. Oh. Well, my skipping rope wants me to have a good trip. You get it? A good trip. So, what do you think, Holly?
Well, I think it sounds like a marvelous idea. And Canada's birthday is certainly worth celebrating.
Yeah, sure is.
You can play the trombone, Gloria.
Oh, I'd like to, but I can't be in the band.
Huh?
Gloria, why not? I have a guest coming, remember?
Oh, yeah, your cousin, right?
Uh-huh. My cousin Zebedee Lemming from the north. I can't just run off and join the band while he's here. It would be rude.
Well, he is coming a very long way to see you.
Oh, I guess you really have to stay with him.
But you go ahead and march in the band and be in the parade. Zebedee and I will stand at the side of the street and cheer and wave.
Aw, poor Gloria.
Yeah. But we need more players for our band.
Yeah. Do we know any other musicians?
Well, how about Marie Claude, your friend in Quebec, Jake?
Yeah.
She plays the saxophone, and she hasn't been here for a visit in a long time.
I'll call her now.
Great.
Yeah.
Iggy, have you thought of anyone as conductor for the band?
Conductor?
Well, yes, usually there's someone marching at the front of the band, sort of the leader. Often they'll carry a stick and wear a snazzy uniform.
Ooh, wow, that's just what our band needs, Holly.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, sure, a conductor. It's the perfect touch.
Well, it could be rather fun.
Yeah, let's see. I'll talk to Jake, see if he can think of somebody to be our conductor. Yeah.
Wait a minute, Well, what about...
Here we are, Zebedee. This is our backyard.
It's nice, Gloria. You have a lot of trees.
Hi, Gloria.
Hi, Iggy. I'd like you to meet my cousin, Zebedee Lemming. He's come all the way from the far north.
Wow. Hi, Zebedee. Great to meet you.
Hi, Iggy. I've never met a lizard before.
Well, you're looking at the best. I'm an iguana.
Here's your fiddle, Zebedee. Wow, is it ever neat?
A fiddle? Is that for the band, Jacob?
It's Zebedee's fiddle. He takes it with him everywhere.
But that means you can be in our marching band.
Marching band?
Yeah, on the holiday.
It would make me happy to play.
Then you wouldn't mind if I played in the band, too?
Let us be in the band together.
Great! Hey, let's go tell Holly.
And I can show Zebedee our apartment.
Yeah.
Come on, Zeb.
All right.
See you later.
Bonjour, Jacob.
Aquí. Oh, it's Marie Claude.
Here, catch.
And her saxophone.
Yippee! Ah. Oh, Jacob.
Oh.
I'm so happy to see you.
Oh, welcome back, Marie Claude. Are y'all ready for the big parade?
Oh, oui. Here, pass me my saxophone.
Wow.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, boy. I think Canada's going to have its best birthday ever.
Oh, oui.
You're all set? Okay. Everybody set to practice?
Oh, wait. We have to wait for Mrs. McMurtry. She heard about our band and said she'd be right over with her instrument.
Great. And, where's Holly?
She said she had something to show us.
Hello, band.
Holly!
What do you think?
Wow! Snazzy!
Oh, do you really like it?
Yeah, it's just the kind of thing the leader of our band should wear.
Well, that's what I thought.
But who could we get to wear a costume like that to be our leader?
Yeah, who could we get?
But I thought that if I... Oh, you're teasing me.
Of course we are.
All those in favor of Holly as our band leader, raise your hand.
Holly, will you accept the job?
I would love to.
Come in.
Hello, everyone. I'm ready for band practice. What's your instrument, Mrs. McMurtry? An accordion. Let the music begin.
I got the guitar tune too.
All right, now the first thing that we should do, excuse me, Mrs. M, is
dear.
to choose the song we want to play.
I have the perfect song right here.
Well, wait, I think we should play this song.
No, this is the best marching song.
No, play this song.
No. Voici la bonne chanson. My goodness, we can't all play a different song.
Mrs. McMurtry is right.
So we should all play this one. No.
Yeah, but you see, this song here has a good beat.
Excuse me now. Okay, wait a minute. Excuse me? I have a suggestion. How about if I choose the music and you choose the words to go with the music? Agreed?
Okay, Holly, that sounds fair.
Yeah, okay, all right, we'll do that. Okay, come on, guys, let's see.
All right, see you in a bit.
We'll do the work.
I'll work on the music. And while I think about the music, I will practice my baton. Now, my best baton trick used to be the old toss and spin. I'd toss the baton high in the air and spin and catch it before it hit the ground. But it's been a while. Well, let's give it a shot. I toss and spin and catch.
Say, Holly, here's your baton. I found it over on Mrs. McMurtry's lawn.
You did?
Yeah. Say, have you picked out the music for the band song yet?
Yes, I have, Iggy. I'll be handing it out in a few minutes.
Oh, good. Of course, we could let Canada choose. It's her birthday.
Well, Canada isn't the name of a person, Iggy. It's the name of a country. The country we live in.
Huh. I thought we lived in the city. Huh.
Well, we do. But the city is part of the country, along with a whole bunch of other cities and towns and villages.
Wow. Must be a big place.
One of the biggest in the world.
Are there other countries, too?
Mm-hmm. Many. All of them different.
And they all have birthdays?
Yep. Of course, Canada is actually quite a young country, but it's much older than you or I.
No kidding. I'm gonna find out more about Canada.
Good for you, eh?
Yeah.
Would you like to see my baton trick first?
Oh, sure, okay.
Okay, this will be great.
All right.
All right. First I toss, and then I spin, then I catch.
Wow, that's great, Holly. I've never seen anybody toss a baton all the way onto the roof before.
The roof?
Yeah. Oh, nice spin, too. Well, I'm off to learn more about Canada. I'll see you later.
Maybe I should forget about the spin.
And Holly says Canada is a young country, but one of the largest. Isn't that great?
Where I live in the north is much different from here, eh?
Must be like living in the freezer with all that snow and ice.
No. We get warm weather in the summer too, Iggy.
You do?
Yes, but it doesn't last long. Anyway, winter's my favorite. Sometimes when we go hunting, we sleep in small houses made of snow.
Made of snow?
Yes, they're called igloos.
Wow. So what country do you live in?
Canada.
Canada? But I live in Canada. I don't ever sleep in a house made out of snow.
We decided to try another group practice.
Yes, I can't wait to sing and play together.
Sure, great idea.
Good. Let's practice.
I was wondering what we're gonna wear for the parade.
We should all wear the same thing, dear. Like a uniform.
Mais no, I have brought the most beautiful blouse that I have.
Well, I'd like to wear my green jacket. Have you ever seen my green jacket? It's really nice. Green's my favorite color. It looks great in parades, too. Everybody should wear their own favorite color. You know, yours is blue, yours is yellow, then we can all have a great time.
Everybody, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, let me think about this for a minute. All right, now that we have the music chosen, maybe we should take a break and work on the separate parts of the song.
Oh.
And in the meantime, Iggy, maybe you could give some thought as to what we should all wear.
Oh, okay, Holly.
Good. Very good, Holly.
Okay.
All right.
Yes,
All right.
Okay, have fun. Oh, boy. Putting a band together is not as easy as I thought.
Oh, but we can't give up, Iggy.
Oh, no. Not yet, anyway.
Mary Claude, you mind if I practice here with you?
Oh, no. Please do, Jacob. There is plenty of room for both of us.
Yeah, thanks. I'll start over here.
All right, I'll start over here. Jacob, please, Jacob, pardon. Jacob!
Yes?
You are too noisy. I cannot hear my saxophone. Perhaps you could practice somewhere else?
But I always practice here. I tried marching in the living room once, but I knocked over 2 lamps, a glass of water, and Iggy's bow tie collection.
Hi, guys.
Oh, nobody likes to hear me play, Ig.
Well, of course we do, Jake. We can't have a marching band without your drum to help us keep time.
Really?
Oui, c'est vrai. Mais we should all play the same song.
I'd like that.
Ooh, me too.
Bon, just for fun, would you like me to teach you another song, a French song?
But I don't know any French.
Well, you can learn just as I learned English.
I don't know. It's probably too hard.
Mais non. Iggy, will you give it a try?
Well, a French song? Okay, let's try it.
Jacob, will you try?
Oui.
Si vous voulez parler français, I'll teach you what to say. So listen well and s'il vous plaît, please tell me, qu'est-ce que c'est? Let's try words that we all know. We use them every day.
Okay.
Bonjour.
Hello.
Au revoir.
Goodbye.
You got it? That's the way.
That's not too hard.
Mais non.
Moi j'aime chanter une belle chanson. I love to sing a song. Je chante tout bas, je chante tout haut. I sing it high or low. Quand vous connaissez les mots, it's easy, don't you know? Mais oui,
But yes.
c'est bien.
The best.
You see, I told you so.
Let's try.
1, 2, 3 et
It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. When we get along, toi et moi, I'm happy for you and me. Do, re, mi, together in harmony. Ensemble tous les amis. It's better when we all agree.
Moi je viens de très très loin, I come from far away. Chez vous je me sens toujours si bien. With you I love to stay. I feel good with all my friends, in English or in French. Au revoir.
Bye bye.
Salut.
So long. And now we've reached the end.
That was fun.
Where did you learn to speak French, Marie-Claude?
At home, where I live, most people speak French.
Wow, what country is that?
Canada?
You live in Canada too?
Mais oui.
Huh, Zebedee too. This is great. We all share the same country.
Oui.
Yeah, and the same band.
Oui.
Oui.
My lips are getting sore.
It's hard to practice being the leader of a band when there's no one to lead.
Practicing alone can be difficult, dear. And boring. I wish everyone would get back together again. It's more fun. An excellent idea, Gloria, dear.
I agree. I think it's time we had another full band rehearsal.
Oh, good. I'll get Zebedee.
Oh, we'll meet in the backyard.
Now we're getting somewhere.
All right, now we all agree that practicing together is more fun than practicing alone, right?
Right, yes.
Okay, then let's try for a full band rehearsal.
Iggy, does this mean we all wear uniforms then?
Oh, no, I think we should wear whatever we like.
Oh, but it looks very nice on a marching band when they're all dressed the same.
No, wait. I've got the answer.
Well, what's it going to be, Iggy? Are we all going to dress the same?
Well, everyone wears whatever they like, but everyone also wears one of my bow ties.
Ooh, très chic.
Yeah.
Oh, so we don't all look exactly the same.
But we'll all have a special band bow tie.
Right. Well, what do you think?
Oui,
I
d'accord.
exactly idea.
All right.
Good.
Good. Okay, then let's get this rehearsal underway.
All right.
Now, I'll count us in. Are you ready?
Ready?
Okay. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and...
Wait!
What's the matter, Jacob?
Well, if we're a marching band, shouldn't we be marching?
Oui, like in a parade.
Oh, okay. Well, let's march and play at the same time. Ready? Go.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, Gloria, wait a minute.
Sorry.
Okay, I think we need to be a little better organized. Why don't we try marching without the music to start?
Oh, good thinking. Ready? Go.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, dear.
Oh, everybody, hold! Okay, what I meant was we should march the way we will march in the parade.
Oh!
Okay, everybody into a straight line.
Bon, I shall be first.
Oh, but I think the drum should go first.
Wait. I play lead guitar. I should go first.
Well, actually, the conductor goes first.
But you don't even play anything, Holly.
Yeah, that's right.
This practice is not too good either.
Oh, dear. This could take a while. How about a little snack over at my house?
I like that.
Good.
Like the drum.
Yeah, but remember that last time?
Okay, wait a minute. I think we should practice on our own for a little longer.
Right.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it may be Canada's birthday, but doesn't feel like much of a party.
Holly says that this is a picture, a map of what Canada looks like.
I live way up there at the top in the Northwest Territories.
Zebedee lives so far north, there are no trees.
No trees.
No.
But over in this part of Canada, there are some of the biggest and oldest trees in the world. Some of the highest mountains, too.
Wow.
Now, this part of the country is very flat. And over here are lakes. Canada has some very big lakes and rivers. As a matter of fact, Marie-Claude lives near this very big river over here.
And that's part of Canada, too?
Mm-hmm. Now this is Ottawa. That's the capital city of Canada. There are going to be some big celebrations there for Canada's birthday. Well, just like in all parts of the country.
Oh, wow, each part of Canada seems so different.
It's true. Very different, eh?
Then why is it all called Canada?
What do you mean, Iggy?
Well, Canada is so big and it has so many parts, we can't even seem to keep our marching band together. How does Canada do it?
And Canada has more people than our marching band.
Well, that's a good question, and it's not easy to answer. But you know, maybe if we give our marching band another try, we can find the answer.
We can't even decide who's supposed to go first.
And tomorrow is the day of the parade.
Yes, but I don't want to tell you who should go first. I think you should decide among yourselves.
Well, that would be fair.
I tell you what, why don't we meet here for another band practice tomorrow?
Okay, I'll let everybody else know.
But who will be first in the parade line?
Well, you're going to have to work that out between yourselves.
But what if we can't?
Then we might have to disband the band. Hello? Anybody home? Iggy, Jacob, Gloria, Zebedee. Well, this is the time we set for band practice, and this is the day of the parade. I wonder where they are. Oh, no. I bet they couldn't decide who should go first in the parade. Marie-Claude, was that you? What is going on here? Well, I am surrounded.
Surrounded by the Umbrella Tree Marching Band. We all got together early this morning and we found out something interesting.
What's that?
We found out that we sound better playing together
Than we do when we play by ourselves.
So we had our own practice.
Wonderful.
We're all ready for the parade, dear.
Then we'd better get downtown right away. Wait a minute. Who does get to march first in the parade?
We all do.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Well, Iggy checked the city map and found out that we march for 6 blocks.
6 blocks? Uh-huh.
And there are 6 of us.
We'll take turns.
Each of us can march first for 1 block.
Well, you are not only the best-looking band in Canada, you are also the smartest.
Oh, yeah, everybody, let's go.
All right, it's parade time. Let's go. Okay.
My bow
Oh, my
tie's
goodness.
nice and tight.
Oh, this has been a marvelous Canada Day parade so far. Over to you, Eileen.
It certainly has, Wayne. And look, here comes another clown on stilts this time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give me a boost, please. Thank you. Oh, thank good catch. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, I've got it now. Thank you.
I love the clowns.
Here comes another, carrying the Canadian flag.
Happy birthday, Canada!
And what would any parade be without a marching band?
And up next is the Umbrella Tree Marching Band.
Cute name.
Yes, this group is made up of musicians from this area plus players from Quebec and the Northwest Territory.
All playing together to celebrate Canada's birthday.
Let's listen.
From the Rockies to the prairies to the merry Maritimes, from the Northwest Territories to the sunny southern climes, there's a friendly face in every place from sea to shining sea. Oh, Canada, you were made for me. Here's an open invitation to our friends throughout the land. It's a time of celebration, so come on and join the band. There's no better place to play in or to live in or to see. Oh, Canada, you were made for
together we march in stride. From far and wide together we sing with pride. Red and white together they shine so bright. Let's raise them high together with all our might.
Feel the magic in our mountains, in our rivers wide and deep. Hear the music in the country and on every city street. Tell the world that every boy and girl can grow up strong and free. Oh, Canada, you were made for me. Oh, Canada, you were made for me.
A very talented group.
And look, now they're changing their order of marching.
Oh, yes. The ones at the back are now moving up to the front.
And look, the conductor is getting set to throw her baton.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, look at that spin.
Look out.
Maybe she should leave out the spin.
Maybe. I had so much fun today. I don't want it to end.
Next year, you can all come up to my home, and we'll march in the parade there.
Oh, and then to Quebec for the year after that.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, great.
Well, I think Canada's birthday is a good time for our band to get together.
Why do you say that, Holly?
Well, because Canada is a little bit like our band.
It is?
Mm-hmm. Well, each of our musical instruments is different and special.
Right, like each part of the country is different and special.
Oh, so low!
Watch them work together, helping out in style. Always at the ready with a spanner and a smile. Get Dick and Doug and Daisy to bring a smile to you. Daisy may be somewhere near, thinking of a plan, wondering how to help them out and lend a friendly hand. Get Dick and Doug and Daisy to bring a smile to you.
Dig and Doug were in the bulldozer on their way to a building site. At least they thought they were. Can't see any building sites here, said Doug. Me neither, said Dig. Looks more like fields to me. Suddenly, they had to bring the big bulldozer to a halt. Something was blocking the lane. Looks like a trailer, said Doug. It does, said Dig. And a tractor. Like the one we delivered to Farmer Stubble. Looks like turnips to me, said Dig. Looks like turnips to me, said Doug. Then something even stranger happened. Talking turnips? I don't like this. Me neither, said Dig. Just as they were about to leave, the strangest thing of all happened. Hello? Farmer Stubble, said Doug. Are you all right? Oh! No, I am not.
and he explained what had happened. He'd been taking a trailer full of... First thing we'd better do is take a look. Right, said Dig. Let's get cracking.
Whoa! 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 Oh, hey, hey.
Oh dear. They thought they'd better go the long way around. Dig looked at the trailer, while Doug looked at the tractor. Nothing much wrong under here, said Doug. Nothing much wrong under here, said Dig. Looks all right to me, said Doug. Looks all right to me, too, said Dig. But Farmer Stubble wasn't happy. One minute his turnips were on the trailer, the next minute they weren't. Said Doug. And then he had an idea. Dig, hop in the trailer a minute. So Dig did. How's this? The school champion at hopping. I didn't mean that. I meant get in the trailer, that's all. Now then, said Doug. And he explained that they had to find out how the turnips had got from the back of the trailer to the lane. And the best way to do that would be for Dig to pretend to be a turnip. Because if he did, they might be able to see where he ended up. Dig thought this was a very good way of solving the puzzle, but he did have a problem. I don't look much like a turnip, do I? Not really, said Doug. I think you look more like a carrot, said Farmer Stubble. Never mind what you'll look like, just get on with it, said Doug, and raised the flap on the trailer. Now, roll around a bit. Dig did. He looks more like a cabbage now, said Farmer Stubble. They were no nearer finding out how the turnips had fallen off when suddenly... Oh! I know what's wrong, said Doug. And he explained to Farmer Stubble that if he didn't lock the trailer when he carried things in the back, they'd all fall out. Things like turnips, said Dig. Exactly, said Doug. Nothing wrong with the trailer at all. Farmer Stubble was very pleased. Silly old me, he said. Silly old you. Silly old you, said Dig and Doug. Oh dear, someone was wanting to get by. Come on, I've got passengers in here and they're hungry. Passengers? And all those turnips? What were they going to do? Doug said they'd have to load as many as they could as quickly as possible. But it wasn't that easy.
Whoa! Wait! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Oh! Just then, who should appear across the field but Daisy? What are you doing, Uncle Doug? She asked, trying very hard not to laugh. And when Doug explained how Farmer Stubble had had an accident with his trailer, and how Dig had pretended to be a turnip, which had helped enormously. But now there were passengers in a hurry, turnips in the lane, and nothing to clear them away with. Daisy came up with a plan. A bit more, bit more, bit more, bit more. That'll do, said Dig. Right. At last they were set to put Daisy's plan into action. Stand back, Daisy. Ready when you are, Doug. all very tricky. But finally the lane was clear for the truck to pass. Hooray for Dig! And you, Uncle Doug. Hooray for you, too. Thank you, Daisy, he said. I now declare this lane open. As the truck pulled forward, Farmer Stubble raised his hand. Stop, he shouted. Got a little something for your passengers. Turnips, anyone? Yes, I thought they might be a favorite. And as the truck pulled away, the passengers all said thank you. Now, where were we? Said Doug. Lost, said Dig. Ah, so we were, said Doug. And what's the best thing to do when you're lost? Said Daisy. Have lunch, said Doug. So they did.
Dig and Doug in a little yellow truck are Daisy's favorite friend. Just take me
Simon was in the reptile house at the zoo. He was fascinated by the chameleon, which could change color to match its background. He thought about it all the way home. When he got home, he drew a chameleon on his blackboard. Next day, he met Henry from the land of chalk drawings. Simon, you must come. Something odd is happening. So Simon went with Henry to the land of chalk drawings. It looked peaceful enough, but then Simon saw something peculiar. The elephant picked a bunch of bananas, and a banana came to life. It flicked out a long tongue and frightened the elephant so much that he knocked over a tree. It was, of course, the chameleon, disguising himself as a banana. He ran off, chuckling. The cat was asleep in a tree. He was woken up by a flicking tongue. He was so surprised that he fell off the branch. The chameleon again. He was having fun. And a bird who sat down to rest had to perch elsewhere. And so did another one. Off ran the chameleon. The teacher, talking to a pupil, got a shock. The chalk drawing people complained to Simon. No one can catch the chameleon because he disguises himself so cleverly, grumbled Henry. Well, Simon knew he had to do something. So he went home, and he thought, and he thought. And suddenly, he had an idea. He drew on his blackboard, and then hurried back to the land of chalk drawings. There was his new drawing, a Scotsman in full Highland dress, tartan from head to kilt. Hutsman, I'm Hamish MacHamish, you ken. Hamish went to the wood where they thought the chameleon was and spread out his tartan blanket. Then he lay down and went to sleep. Well, sure enough, the chameleon couldn't resist trying to surprise Hamish, so he crept onto the blanket. The tartan blanket had so many colours, the chameleon found it difficult to change colour to match it. He puffed and he panted and finally managed to turn tartan. Now he was disguised. Hamish woke up. The tartan chameleon flicked out his tongue to surprise him, but Hamish only laughed. The chameleon walked away disappointed. Then, when he tried to change himself back to normal, he found he couldn't. It was too difficult. The chameleon looked so sad that Simon and Hamish felt sorry for him. As the chameleon now had the McHamish tartan, Hamish McHamish decided to make him an honorary member of the clan. Simon was glad to go home, leaving everyone happy. When Simon visited the zoo again, he saw the real chameleon. Simon spoke to the keeper. "Is there such a thing as a tartan chameleon?" The keeper laughed. "Impossible, no chameleon could change into so many colours." Simon smiled to himself. He knew differently, didn't he?
And begin.
And here goes. It works.
Watch Mr. Dress Up weekday mornings.
Here comes Pappy, my friend Pappy, happy Pappy Pig. She's the one who always works so hard, in her house and garden too. So let's watch Pappy, jolly plumpy Pappy, hippy hoppy Pappy Pig. Pappy Pig. Pappy Pig was small and plump. She had a round face, a little round nose, and 2 round eyes. Poppy lived in a little red house. It had a green roof and a window box full of bright yellow flowers. Poppy watered them every day. One morning, Poppy got up early and put on an apron. Outside, the sun was shining brightly, and Poppy had lots of things to do. It was time to clean the house. First, Poppy swept the floor. She liked to do that the best. Her broom went swish, swish, until every corner was clean. Next, Poppy dusted the furniture. She dusted tables and chairs, bookshelves and window ledges. She even dusted the big cupboard. Then Poppy cleaned her favorite picture. It was soon so bright and shiny that Poppy thought the flower looked almost as real as those in the window box. But now the dust cloth was dirty and needed a good wash. Poppy filled a bowl with soapy water. The soap suds made her sneeze. Achoo! When the clean dust cloth was pinned on the clothesline to dry, Poppy said, "Now everything's done." What a busy day it's been. But all the spring cleaning had made Poppy very hungry. In her garden she had potatoes, apples, cabbages, and carrots. Which should she choose to eat? Of course, Poppy remembered that she had picked a bunch of carrots yesterday because they looked so good. Soon the carrots were ready, and Poppy ate them happily. After her meal, Poppy washed her plate and fork. Then she sat down in her comfortable armchair. How lovely to have a clean house, thought Poppy Pig. And now I deserve a rest as well as those delicious carrots.
Good and keep it up and keep it up. It's good and up some more and up and down and up and down. Very good, very good. Keep it up and good, very good. Keep it up and down and up.
Please read us a story, old bear. We'll all gather round. Dear old bear, sit in your favorite chair. We'll sit all around, dear old bear.
Little Bear was tidying the shelves in the playroom as a surprise for Old Bear. He stood all the books in a line and tidied the odds and ends into neat little piles. He'd nearly finished when the door opened and in marched Old Bear. "Oh, well done, Little Bear," he said. "You must have been busy for hours." "All afternoon," said Little Bear. "But it's really tidy now," he added proudly. "Except I don't know what to do with all this paper I've found." Said Old Bear. "Well, paper always comes in useful for something." Little Bear yawned. "You look very tired," said Old Bear, "and I think you deserve a treat after all your hard work. Tonight, when you're ready for bed, I'll read you a special story." He picked up the paper and looked at it thoughtfully. "A very special story," he added. When it was bedtime, Little Bear couldn't wait to get ready. But the more he hurried, the more he struggled with his pajamas. First, he managed to get his pajama top on backwards. Then both legs tried to go down one leg hole. "Why are you in such a rush tonight?" asked Camel as she helped him to his feet. "Are you very tired?" "Not really," said Little Bear at last, managing to get his top on the right way round. "I'm hurrying so that I can have my story. Old Bear said he'd read me a special one tonight." "Oh, good," said Camel. "I'd like to listen too. Jump on and we'll go and find him." Little Bear scrambled onto Camel's back, and they set off to look for Old Bear. When they arrived at his chair, it was empty. "He couldn't have forgotten," said Little Bear. "He always reads me a bedtime story." "And this was going to be a special one," said Camel, who had been looking forward to it. "Perhaps Bramwell will read one instead." "Well, I can't go to bed without a story," said Little Bear, "so I think we'd better find him." As Camel turned to go, she nearly bumped into Zebra, who was hurrying along with her cart piled high with brushes and tubes of paint. "Hello, Zebra," said Little Bear. "Are you looking for me? I'm all ready for bed, but I really wanted a story first." "I'm sorry, I can't stop," replied Zebra. "Bramwell's waiting for these painting things, and I'm late already. Could you carry the big brush for me, Little Bear? My cart feels rather heavy." Little Bear reached down and pulled out the biggest paintbrush. Then they all set off in search of Bramwell. Bramwell Brown was sitting on the floor when the three friends arrived. He had spread out a sheet of newspaper and placed 2 sheets of white card on top. Little Bear scrambled down. "Hello, Bramwell," he said. "I was wondering whether you would like to read me a story. Please. Old Bear said he'd read me a special one, but he seems to have disappeared." "I might later," said Bramwell. "But could you just hold these pieces of card while I choose some paints?" "What's your favorite color, Little Bear?" "Blue, I think," said Little Bear. "But yellow's nice, too." "Well, blue and yellow make green," said Bramwell, "which is a lovely color. We'll paint it green." Bramwell dropped some yellow paint into the blue and mixed the colors together. Then he dipped his big brush into the green puddle and swept across both pieces of card and both of Little Bear's paws. "Oh, dear," said Bramwell. "You'd better wash that off before it dries. I think Sailor has some soap. Thank you for your help." Before Little Bear could remind him about the story, Bramwell was hurrying off across the playroom, followed by Zebra and her cart. As soon as he'd gone, Sailor came marching over to Little Bear, carrying a bucket of water and a bar of soap. "I saw you painting through my telescope," he explained, "and I thought you might need these." "Thank you," said Little Bear. "Have you come to read me a story, too?" "Not really," said Sailor. "I'm afraid I haven't time. Old Bear needs this urgently." And he showed Little Bear a bundle of string he'd looped over his shoulder. Little Bear would have liked to say that he needed a story rather urgently, but before he could, Sailor waved goodbye and hurried away. Little Bear turned to Camel. "Everyone is so busy," he said, "but I can't go to bed without a story." "You can't go to bed with green paws either," replied Camel. "You clean them while I go and find Old Bear." Little Bear quickly washed his painty paws. As he was shaking them dry, a piece of paper floated down and landed beside him. "Could you look this way?" said a voice from above. "I'm just trying to draw your ears." It was Rabbit, pencil in paw, waving to him from the sofa. "I'm doing your portrait," he announced. Little Bear stood still for as long as he could, which wasn't very long, because he soon remembered about the bedtime story. "Rabbit," he said, "would you—" Then he took a step backwards and crash, bumped straight into Duck, who dropped the big bundle of pencils he was carrying. "Oh, dear," said Duck crossly. "Shouldn't you be in bed, Little Bear?" "I will be when I've had my story," grumbled Little Bear. "But everyone's too busy to read me one." "Well, I'm afraid I'm busy too," said Duck. "I have to sharpen all these pencils." "Well, I'll help you," said Little Bear. "Then you'll be finished sooner, and we can find a book to read." Little Bear held the sharpener while, one by one, Duck pushed in the pencils and turned them round and round. Soon Little Bear was almost buried under a heap of colorful shavings. "Thank you, Little Bear," said Duck. "Would you mind clearing up the bits? I must get on." By the time Little Bear had struggled out of the heap, Duck had vanished. "Oh, no," he cried. "He's forgotten my story." "I think he's gone to see Old Bear," said Rabbit, climbing down with his drawing. "Why don't you finish clearing up and then go along too?" Little Bear fetched a paper bag and began to push the shavings inside. "I thought I'd finished tidying for the day," he grumbled to himself. Just as he picked up the last piece, Camel came back. "I found Old Bear," she said excitedly, "and I think he might be ready to read your story." Little Bear scrambled up onto her back. "Oh, at last," he said. "I don't think I can stay awake much longer." Not far away, Old Bear was sitting on a cushion surrounded by the other toys. "That's right, Duck," he said. "Just hold your beak on the string while Sailor ties the bow. There. Now, all we need is Little Bear." "Here I am," cried Little Bear, arriving just at the right moment. "I've been looking for Old Bear. Did you forget you were going to read me a special story tonight?" "Of course I didn't forget," said Old Bear kindly. "And thanks to all your friends, it will be a story from your very own book." And he showed Little Bear a smart green book tied up with string. On the front was Rabbit's picture of Little Bear washing his paws. "Oh, it's lovely!" cried Little Bear, climbing onto Old Bear's lap to have a closer look. "What's it called?" Old Bear picked up one of Duck's sharpened pencils and looked thoughtful. "Well," he said, "let's call it The Adventures of Little Bear." Little Bear suddenly remembered holding Bramwell's card and sharpening all the pencils. He remembered carrying Zebra's big paintbrush and standing very still while Rabbit drew him. "I think I might have helped to make the book too, but didn't know it." Old Bear smiled. "Without you," he said, "there wouldn't be a book at all. If you hadn't worked so hard at tidying up, we wouldn't have found the paper." He picked up the book and opened the first page. "Now, once upon a time," he began, "there was a very helpful Little Bear."
Buddy?
Yes, Pip?
You're too heavy.
No, you're too light.
To the truck. At last they were ready. The big question now was, would it work? "Ready, Doug?" said Dig. "Ready, Dig," said Doug. Everyone held their breath as the tractor began to pull. "Never mind," said Doug. "I'll fix that later. Let's try again." So they did. And while Farmer Stubble took a turn in the tractor, Dig tied the rope to the truck, and Doug stood back to see what would happen. "That's it," Doug shouted to Farmer Stubble. "It's out now." and the three men congratulated themselves on doing such a good job. Daisy smiled. She knew it was really her idea, but she didn't say anything. "That was clever, Uncle Doug," she said. "How do you manage to have such good ideas?" They all went back to Merriweather Farm, where Mrs. Stubble was waiting with their special cake. Everyone admired it. She told them it was the most dangerous cake she'd ever made. Whatever could she mean? Mrs. Stubble smiled. "I forgot to put any brakes on it," she said. "So you better eat it before it runs away."
Dick and Doug in a little yellow truck are Daisy's favourite friends. Driving here and driving there to fetch and fix and mend. Watch them work together, helping out in style. Always at the ready with a spanner and a smile. They're Dick and Doug and Daisy to bring a smile to you. Daisy may be somewhere near, thinking up a plan, wondering how to help them out and lend a friendly hand. They're Dick and Doug and Daisy to bring a smile to you.
Dum-de-dum, dum-dum-dum. This'll make it grow. Dum-de-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. And a little bit more. Yeah. Oh, that was quick.
Hello. Oh, look at this. My trusty tuba. You know, there's nothing I like better than blowing my tuba first thing in the morning. Oh, I love the way that it echoes through the big harbor. 1, 2. What's that noise? Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's a new ship in the harbor. And I think he wants to blow his whistle along with my tuba. You know, I'm not sure I really want to play with anybody. George would know what to say. Hey, George likes to make new friends. He didn't always. Have I ever told you that story?
It was a busy morning in the big harbor. A big ship was arriving, and Theodore, George, and Hank were just getting ready to bring her into her dock. It was time for George's favorite move. First, vrooming his engine as he sped up and swung towards the ship. Then he swooshed to a stop, vrooming his engine and blowing up smoke just to make sure everyone was watching. But nobody was. "Hey," said Hank, "who's that?"
Who's what?
Growled George. It was a ship. She was about the same size and shape as the tugboats, but different. "She has a helicopter," said Hank, sounding very impressed. "She looks friendly," said Theodore. "Oh, we have plenty of friends already," said George. You see, George was usually only interested in, well, George. "Come on," he commanded. "Let's get this big ship in." The next morning, the dispatcher sent Theodore and George to move Owen, the oil rig, out on the ocean. "Moving Owen is going to be fun," shouted Theodore. And he swayed from side to side a little, the way he did when he was especially happy. Soon, the tugs could see the giant oil rig.
"Well, howdy-doody there, boys,"
hollered Owen.
"Sure is nice to see you again. Things were getting a tad quiet around here. Yes, sirree, Bob."
Theodore grinned to himself. He couldn't imagine it ever being quiet anywhere Owen was. George smiled a big George smile. This was a great chance to do his favorite move right in front of Big Owen.